Huh. It helps if I uncover the camera, doesn't it? Hello, I'm Markee Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life. And today I want to talk about the Guild Wars 2 banning policy. So this policy is not unlike any other policy. Many games will ban you for having inappropriate names, sexual terms or racist terms or, a whole bunch of other things. They also will ban you for being racist. They will ban you for too much foul language. And there are other things, of course, exploiting and all of that stuff. So, recently they had it was really interesting because it came to light that Guild Wars, that the Arenanet really wasn't using any sort of forums under their own. They were using Reddit. And when the Reddit posts first started, people were like, not even sure that it was really someone from Guild Wars and or from Arenanet. And they did some of the funniest things, man. I tell you, those guys have a sense of humor. Because, let's first talk about their policy. And their policy, I'm not sure that there's too much to talk about, but this will give some insight to what's going on. And it's really about that they want the environment in the game to be not offensive and, not harassing and to be friendly. I know we're all at war with each other in the game, but they want it to be friendly. And so, and I don't think that this is, any place. In fact, one of the things I remember, my brother, he had a character in World of Warcraft named Oprah, and he was made to change his name because it was the name of someone famous, and maybe they complained or something. I don't know, but that I thought was pretty funny. And so, and that recently happened to me, where my name was taken in Guild Wars 2. I was very surprised when I logged in at about 3 a.m. opening morning. They opened at like midnight, and at 3 a.m. my time, I logged in to find that someone had already taken Markee Dragon. And so part of the naming policy stuff and everything really has to do with stuff that's trademarked and stuff that is I don't know, maybe you couldn't I don't know what names they would avoid, but like in my brother's experience with Ultima Online, or not Ultima Online, World of Warcraft, that Oprah, that he had to change his name after he had that character for a while, and then. My experience, now I do have trademark on the name Markee Dragon, and, I could have enforced it, and maybe that's what happened with Oprah, or whatever with that, but I chose not to go that route. I actually talked with the person, and after they taunted me in-game with my own name, and, they did release it. It took a little bit of time, but I did get the character name back. So anyway, they have been banning people for offensive names. Now, they kind of go on a scale, and I'm going off of what they say in the Reddit threads. They go off of a scale, and this scale is something that might just be an internal, how do they feel about it. But it depends on how bad your name is as to what happens. And if you were to use a racist slur, gosh, I'm just trying to think of, I don't want to cross the line here. And so I'm just thinking of these different things of things that could be super offensive that could be used as a name, and whether or not I even want to say them. And I think I'm going to avoid saying them. I think I should not. So the but if you came up with something that says, I hate this group, or I kill this group, or something like that, that you're probably going to get a ban. Now, something else that you know, these other names that might just be just mildly offensive, they're giving out suspensions to those. And if you read the Reddit stuff, this is so funny, because in the Reddit stuff, they actually talk about the fact that that if anyone wants to ask why they were banned, that they will reply in Reddit in public with all the gory details. And so the best one of all that I read in there was this guy that I will say his name. His name was Very Large Ballsack. And so he posts in there and he says, "Why was I banned?" And the reply was just awesome. Just awesome. He got banned for false advertising. We all know it was because of his name, but it was just really funny hearing that it was false advertising. So anyway, but then, you know, so it goes around too that they're banning people or suspending people for hacking the game or exploiting the system. Now, I have not talked with Arenanet, and so I don't know their you know, official stance on this, but Crip got banned, and I saw his videos about getting banned, and and I have requested an interview with him, but I haven't managed to do that yet. But he told exactly what he was doing. And I saw the video of his live stream of him actually getting cut off mid-play, and he was miffed, to say the least. And the next day he made another video about getting banned, and he talked about the fact that that what he was doing was this thing of taking karma points, buying an item with it, and then disassembling that item into its components, and then selling those items for gold or for currency, a different currency in the game. And I don't know the whole mechanics of it. I didn't really pay too much attention to the really fine details of it, but from what I did see was that this was something that the game allowed him to do, and that this was something that is not, you know, when you make a game, you should not penalize anyone for allowing them to do things that you have left them the ability to do. That is my opinion. Now, people should have restraint in speech, because they should be banned if they are just going around spewing all kinds of hate stuff. That is something that should be addressed, and because you don't want to really control their speech too much, and people will get very creative about it. But when you allow them to buy something in game and then disassemble it and resell it at a profit and make money off of that. And I'm just going off what Crip said. Crip said that they were buying these things for karma points, and then they were selling them for the in-game credits, the currency, the silver and gold, and that it was very profitable. And he said that they said to him that it wasn't supposed to be that way, because it was like 1,000 times more profitable than what they had intended. Now, I gotta say, fix the issue in the game. Make it so that it pays out proper. Don't penalize the people who figure this out and then run it. It's our nature that if you figured out, let's talk about real life. So let's just say, you know, I talked about that video where in that video where I was dumpster diving and when I was a kid, and I would go and I'd get the stereo components from the stereo shop, and I would kind of remanufacture them into working units. And so they, to have whole stereo systems that were components, and so like the tape deck wouldn't work, and so they'd throw away the amp and the turntable and the tape deck at the same time, but the amp and the turntable still worked, and they were compatible to plug in with another tape deck. And I know those of you who are not old enough don't even know what the hell tape decks are. Well, because nowadays we just download everything. So let's call it your MP3 player that plugs in, the docks into the stereo. That component goes bad, and so they throw away the rest of it. Well, so I would take those things and then put them together and rebuild speakers and everything, and I might have to buy just a little bit of parts, but what and in all actuality, I remember buying some parts from the stereo shop where I was digging in their dumpster and getting stuff. Now, it wasn't, I was taking advantage of the system, but it was because they allowed me to do it. If they had a lock on that dumpster, I would not have been able to get in there, and I would not have been able to dig in there and get that stuff. And so, in effect, they were allowing me to do it. And, there's no law, at least not at the time. There might be laws in some places now, but in my town where I grew up, there was no law against getting into someone's trash and taking something out of it. Or at least I was not aware of it, and I never got busted for it. Now, the fact is that should that stereo shop have been upset with me because we did that, and should they, like, say, call the police that I was, digging in their dumpster, and should they press charges and everything? I don't think they should. They could solve that very simply by putting a lock on it. And Arenanet could solve this very simply by changing how that game dynamic works. And now, if it was an obvious exploit of I put something in this bag and then I transfer it over to another player, and then I do some other magic or whatever, or I do some command or something, and it duplicates it to where it didn't transfer over, and I do that more than once. I did that once because we realized that something went wrong, and then we do it again. But if we're, in all honesty, just trying to send them something and it doesn't work, at the second time that it happens, it's not more than just a one-time glitch. It's my responsibility to then, let Arenanet know. And if I kept doing it over and over and over again after that to dupe items or whatever, then yeah, I should be banned for that, because I'm then abusing the system, and I'm knowingly. It's because stuff just doesn't appear out of just anywhere. It's really based on what the person willingly did, and so and I'm just trying to think of another example of that, and so, but I guess I don't have another example of that, but I'm a very firm believer that if I made a game and that game is allowing someone to do something, then I need to change that. I can't I can't go around banning people for that. Richard Garriott had a really great story about this that I saw. He did a interview with Stratix, and in this video interview, he talked about how that he was doing this. He was in game in Ultima Online, and this lady had just had her stuff stolen, and she was crying about that. She was needing help, so he was there to help her. And he went and recovered the stuff from the thief who took it, and gave it back to her. And I think that he just took it from the thief. He didn't even talk to the thief or nothing, or didn't really make much of a big deal out of it. And then hands it back to her. And then he's talking to her, and she's like, "My stuff just disappeared again." So then he goes and tracks down this thief again and says, "Don't do that." And so then, anyway, he takes the stuff back and gives it to her again. He comes around, the thief comes around again and takes the stuff again while he's talking to her. And so he chases down this thief again and he's like, "If you do that again, I'm going to ban you." And the thief says, "Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. I agree, I won't do it anymore. It's okay, don't ban me. Please don't ban me." So Garriott goes and gives the stuff back again. And the thief comes right around and does it again. Well, so Garriott then takes this thief, locks him in place or whatever, and says, "Okay, I'm sorry. I told you not to do this again. You said you wouldn't do it again, and now I'm going to have to ban you." And the thief says, "But wait, that's not fair." And Garriott's like, "Why is that not fair?" And he says, "Because there's a thief's skill in the game. You made the mechanics in here, or you allowed this to happen so that someone can steal from another player. I am playing the part of a thief. You cannot ban me. You should not ban me for using the in-game mechanics that you created so that I can play this type of player." And Garriott's like, "Wow, he's right." "Okay, well, I'm going to give this stuff back to this lady. Please, go about your way." Or maybe he duplicated the stuff. I don't know what he did. But anyway, the player was exactly right that the game allowed him to do that. And Garriott realized that. And so he then embraced that. And, he made the game. He should have thought about this thief skill and everything. I realized that he wasn't the only person working on it. He was really the creative direction of it. And he had his other people that were actually implementing all of these things. And so some things could be overlooked. He could have been surprised by some things. But the fact is that he was responsible for it, and it was really part of the gameplay. And in relating this back to Arenanet and Guild Wars too, is that they have allowed this to be part of the gameplay. And so they should not ban for it. And if Crip actually knowingly realized that this was an exploit, then he should have stopped and he should have reported it. But on the flip side, if it were me, and I'd be like, "Holy cow, spending these karma points and going and do this, wow, this is really profitable." Having not played the game for very long, how am I supposed to know that that wasn't supposed to be that way? I mean, honestly, I'd be like, "Shit, I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy things, or I'm going to find things and I'm going to disassemble them, and then I'm going to sell the parts." And at that point, that's what I would be doing. I'd be switching my profession to that, because I'd be thinking, this is very profitable. I'm going to make a lot of money in this game. And that's one of the things I said I wanted to do in the game, was to make a lot of money. So, it's, I guess, just how I see it. So, anyway, that is my take on it. Now, Arenanet, I encourage you to fix the issue, which I'm sure you already have by the time this video is coming out. So for those people who are, banned by this, the problem is that any game publisher, they are God. And if you upset God, then God can take any action that he wants to. And you have no control over that. And and unfortunately, the people who are GMs, who are, enforcing these rules, they're human. They get offended when people take advantage of them, or they perceive that someone took advantage of them or the game, and they react accordingly. So that is how it all works. So if you made it this far in the video, you may as well subscribe. That's what I want you to do. You obviously liked it well enough to watch it this far. So look at this. This is Frostmourne. This is Arun's magic sword. this Runes of Magic sword is one that we're giving away as second prize to one of you subscribers, just for being subscribed. That's all you have to do. Subscribe and accept our messages, or watch our videos where we draw for prizes. So this one is it's a really nice sword. It's signed by some of the American staff for Runes of Magic. And then there's the big boy here. I got it on my shoulder because it's so darn heavy. You know, the sucker is 16 pounds. Look at this. So it's a two-handed sword here, man. This is a beautiful sword. And we're giving this away when we hit 42,500 subscribers. It could be you. So just subscribe, that's all you have to do. We'll do videos selecting the winners, and we'll send you a message in YouTube as long as you accept it. Just make sure you accept messages from us. To do that, put us on your contact list. And you just add Markee Dragon to your contact list, and then you'll be able to get messages from us, and you'll have 30 days to get back to us when we send you a message. Or if we can't message you, you'll just be on video, and you just gotta watch the video and then contact us. So anyway, if you made it this far, you really should subscribe, and I would appreciate it. So anyway, that's all.